just love real life, man. Welcome to Real Life NYC. We have Chan in the building. Give it up for Chan. Make some noise.
Up, bro?
Doesn't that
What's
do
up,
like,
yes, sir.
yeah, we need all the in the studio audience. Right.
Sir.
Simmer down. Everybody relax. Security. So yeah, it's a pleasure to have you, bro. We have Chanpreet Singh in the house, one of our premier students at Real Life NYC.
Oh, yeah.
Also joined by my two
What's up,
stellar,
guys?
amazing co-hosts, Andrew, also known as Drew Sauce,
Yes, sir.
and we have,
Yes,
of
sir.
course, Rubes in the house. So, man, this is good. This is a long-awaited podcast. We try to talk about various different topics, all along the lines of leadership, personal growth, and spirituality.
Yeah.
And I know we're gonna get into it, bro, because Chan has a lot.
Yeah.
Chan has a lot to bring. Am I right, guys? He has
Yeah,
Oh,
for
yeah.
real.
a lot to bring to the table that is very, very helpful. We have a lot of deep conversations in real life. And in real life, we're all about growing with God, getting closer to God. And part of that is growing and maturing with people, right? You can't just say, oh, I love God. And meanwhile, I hate I hate this guy. I can't stand that guy. Like that's
Right.
not what it's about.
Yeah.
So we want to mature in our social environment, mature with people. And you and I got to talk. We have a lot to discuss because,
Yeah, a lot.
bro, I know anxiety is what we're going to be talking about today, and we'll get into that. And dealing with bereavement, because going through COVID has been really difficult for a lot of people.
Yeah, man.
And
I think it amplified.
Bro.
Yeah.
Amplified the anxiety.
it amplified anxiety, and people who have lost loved ones during. It's been really, really difficult, and so we don't want to sugarcoat it. Say, "Oh, it's over," you know. No,
Right.
it may be over, but not in people's minds.
Yeah, the repercussions are still here.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is where Chan comes in, and we've had some discussions about dealing with anxiety. But before we get to that, let us know how you came to real life. How did all that happen? Like, let's talk about that.
That's a
How'd
crazy
you find out about real life?
So, one day I was at my cousin's house and, we were, relaxing in his room and everything.
Cause
And-
Harpaul?
Yeah, Harpaul, my cousin. Yeah. Rest in peace, man.
Yes, sir.
So, I was just chilling in his room one day and, we were talking and he was getting ready to go somewhere with his, his other brother. And they asked me, like, hey, you want to tag along? Me being a little kid, I was like, yeah, fine. Like, I'll go along
You
with you
were
guys.
what, 15?
I was like, like 14-ish around there. And so we show up in front. Now it's like, a new environment, everybody's new. And go inside, everything lights up. Like I felt way better walking in through the doors than I felt, the day before, like a week before.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's good to hear. See, you guys are doing a good job, man.
Yeah. And so,
Media team.
we walked inside, obviously, basketball is like, the number
Of
one
course.
priority with, me and my cousins. We grew up playing it together. And then that's when we jumped into, talking about God. God is not, I wasn't really like a big believer on God before, but, over the years coming here every Friday, actually helped me tone down a lot. And then, COVID hit. And that's when
Changed a lot.
the whole like anxiety spike happened. Like, I'm pretty sure in everybody's lives, going forward.
Yep. And you were dealing with a whole lot of different family dynamics as well.
Yeah, a lot.
which didn't help your anxieties. And proud of you, bro, for actually being a part of this podcast. And so part of being here is like,
Yeah, it
you
took
know,
a lot.
it takes a lot,
takes a lot,
for someone who's dealing with anxiety. But man, you're brave, bro. I gotta
Thank you.
give it up to you for just being here and being strong and like setting an example and being a leader.
Yeah.
And stepping up to the plate. That's what you do in ball, right?
Yeah, you just
You could be nervous about the opposing team and all this, but at the end of the day, you step on the court and you play.
Yeah, you got to put the ball in the basket.
Right. No, put the ball in the basket no matter how you feel. Like, it's like your anxiety about the game, you just got to go. You have to act. So proud of you.
Turn off the thoughts and just
Facts,
Right.
bro.
do what you know how to do.
Yeah,
Proud of you for that, bro. So let's talk about, so that was your first introduction to real life. You became a part of real life, the family, really. And Harpaul, rest in peace. He was a part of real life. A good man. He was 23 years old, and 4 months ago, he passed in a horrible accident. So
Yeah,
you want to? Where were you when you found out about that? It was a Sunday, by the way, when we found out.
Yeah,
it was
I remember,
actually-
bro. You texted me.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
I was
was.
like, man.
Yeah. We were shocked.
Yeah.
And I'm like, bro, that's Harpaul. Like, and so it spread, and we began to pray immediately and just try to reach out. But how did you find out about the whole?
Yeah. So
incident?
basically, it was just a Saturday. You know, I had a game that Saturday. It was to get into the playoffs, but we didn't make it, unfortunately. But he did show up, and you know, we and him, we weren't really on speaking terms at the time. But you know, we're cousins, we're blood, so
Of course,
at the end of the day, you know, we can always tie up together.
That's what cousins do, brothers, sisters.
So, you know, I played my game. I went up to him, gave him a hug. You know, said what's up to him. You know, just normal thing.
Mm-hmm.
We had a little conversation, and then from there, you know, I went home, and I slept it off that night. And this happened 5 a.m. on a Sunday, so I'm asleep still. I wake up the next day, and I gave him a text. I was like, "Yo, what's up?" Like, you know, and then I gave him a few calls. I went straight to voicemail. So I was like, maybe his phone's dead or something.
Mm.
And so,
Did you have any feelings at that time, or not really?
No, I actually didn't have any feelings
Suspicions?
because he's hung out with his friends before. Like this happens
Yeah.
every year, so it was like, you know, I didn't think anything would happen. And so then, you know, I'm passing by his house, you know, thinking that he'd be home, and so I went to go pick up my friend. He doesn't live too far from him. And then on the way back home, I have my sister call me once, and she said the wrong name at first. She said it was my dad's brother's wife who passed. But, you know, luckily, you know, she had a surgery. She got out of her, you know, brain tumor. She survived.
Wow.
And I got a second call. Now, you know, with me, when I get 2 calls, I'm driving. So I don't, you know, tend to pick up a lot. But I picked up because she doesn't really call me while I'm driving. She knows,
So
like, I'm
you
doing
knew
something.
like it was urgent.
Yes, I knew something was up. And so I get a call and she's like yelling on the phone, crying. And I told her I was like, yo, settle down. Like, I can't hear you. And she says his nickname. She goes, Sonny. She corrected herself. She's like, yeah, Sonny passed. And I was like, there's no way. Like, there's no way that just
Yeah,
happened.
you just saw him.
Right.
I just saw him that day before and the thing
Wow,
is,
man.
this is why
Dude.
I really trust God, because God made me meet him that Saturday to fix anything that was going on before he took him.
Oh man, I was kind
You know
of
what I mean?
thinking how
Wow,
beautiful
bro.
that was too. While you were saying, I'm like,
Yeah.
like the night before you
Yeah,
got
because you
to
said you
the-
weren't on speaking terms.
We weren't
Yeah.
like for almost a month. And so that day I met him, I got to hug him one last time before, you know,
Thank you,
whatever
Lord.
happened.
Wow.
And with me, it's, you know, it's actually a very big thing because I looked up to him. I still do.
Of course.
You know, he was like the first guy in the house, and you know, he's been through a lot. You know,
Mhm.
growing up with him, knowing all the pain he had to feel, and so, you know, I just look up to him. He's just like a role model to me.
Wow.
I go to sleep, waking up, just, you know, hoping that he'd call me back one day, but you know.
And I remember asking, and bro, thanks for sharing that, because I know that's not easy. But I remember asking you, there was a night at Real Life where we were talking about, I think it was anxiety or bereavement,
Yeah.
and how do we deal with that, which is how this podcast came to be. And I remember asking you, like, bro, how do you deal with that? And your answer was like, I don't, man. I just like pretend it never happened.
Yeah.
And so you wake up every day pretending, just making believe, nope, that was just a dream or whatever it was, and it didn't happen. So it's like a state of denial.
Yeah, almost. Yeah.
So how long did you go through the denial stage?
So I guess I'm still
Because I was coping, right?
Yeah, it was still coping. I feel like I'm still in denial because I still wake up every day thinking, like, you know, I give him a call. You know, I
Man.
wake up and because usually, like, you know, I usually call him and, you know, he'd be asleep. He'll be out of his sleep. He'll pick
Right.
up
Yeah,
and,
yeah,
you know,
yo.
talk to me. But
Mhm.
it's like now I'm slowly, you know, it's like, you know, I can't call his phone no more. And so it's just every day I just look up to the sky. I'm just like, all right, like, you know, I got to make you proud. Like, you know, I've been trying to do it, but now, like, you know, I got to get it done. I can't just, you know, keep stalling
Mhm.
it,
Wow.
you know, because again, like nobody here knows how long they have left. So I
That's
guess
so true, man.
you make every day your last.
We really don't.
Yeah.
Wow. That's powerful, bro. So part of your coping was pretending.
Yeah, just
It
to pretend.
It didn't
That
exist.
denial, yeah.
Denying, going through the stage of denial.
Yeah.
And now you're saying coming out of that.
Yeah.
And so did his passing add to anxiety that was already there? Like, because there's a lot to talk about. You have COVID and So were you always an anxious person?
Yeah, always. I feel like him passing, added on to that.
It magnified it.
Magnified it, because we talked about this, I guess, like 2 weeks ago.
Mm.
We talked about, you have so many questions in your mind that you'll never get answers to.
Yeah.
And so, me every day, I wake up every day.
It's like, why, God? What?
Like, why did this have to happen?
Why did this have to happen? Right.
Yeah. And, just, I guess when COVID happened, it was more so like, just like how everybody gets trapped in their minds. It's like you're trapped inside your house now. So now you're trapped in both places, the mind and in person.
Yeah.
So it's not just physical, it's also mental. And, that tend to, that affected me, because I never felt such like a, like walls caving in on me.
Man, so how did you cope with that? Like what friends, prayer, like what helped you get out of the cloud of darkness that was?
Yeah. Just, wake up, I just, mom and dad to make proud, sisters, I got to show like, okay, even though I'm going through so much, like there's a way out. Like there's always a light at the end of the
You
tunnel.
have a family.
Yeah. There's always like that one light at the end of the tunnel. You just got to chase it. And, I do that every day now. Like you just can't stop. Like, life don't stop for you. So,
Yeah, because I mean, just like you said, like you looked up to Harpaul.
Yeah, I looked up to him.
He's a great
So
guy,
it's
man.
like you don't know who's looking up to you right now in that situation. You got to be strong for the family.
Yeah.
For your sister, for mom and dad. Like you got to be strong for them, and that's what you're doing by wanting to make them proud. You're stepping up, and you're just leading the way out of it. Like that's what you have to do.
Yeah, like, God forbid anything happens to me in the near future, or, at all. It's like, at least I left back, I left like a legacy behind that they can look up to, like, yo, he never gave up. And, just like my cousin, he never gave up at all.
Mm-hmm.
Got his dream house, got his dream car, props to him. And, he
it was making moves, man.
Yeah,
He's very driven guy.
Yeah, he showed everybody, like, even on your worst days, you keep going.
So what can you say to, let's say, some of our listeners, like, because like I said, you just being here is powerful in itself.
Mm-hmm.
Because just before coming on, we were talking about, we feel anxious and how we all have dealt with anxiety and still do from time to time. Like all of us here, me, Ruben, Andrew, like it's a part of life, really. But when anxiety is so strong that it controls you and keeps you from making decisions and keeps you from action, or it's just like causes a whole delusion in your mind that doesn't exist, that's when it can become a problem. And some of our students may be there, some of our listeners may be there right now in that dark place where they have such social anxiety, like as soon as they walk into a room, it's like if they're watching a football game, they think the huddle is about them. They're talking about me. No, it's a huddle, bro. Relax. It's called a huddle. Like they're not talking about you. But some people struggle at that level. Have you ever struggled that much? Like, how do you deal with it in school? You're in college now, right?
Yeah, I'm in college.
So does it affect you in college? Does it affect you when you're working on an assignment? Like, it does?
Yeah, it affects me, all places. Sometimes you just gotta back out of your own self.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta look around and you just gotta, just go into it.
Be self-aware.
Coming in today.
Breathe.
Just calm your mind down. There's a lot of things going on. With me, how I personally deal with it, I would, I have a lot of things going on in my mind, so I'll dissect each and everything one by one. So I know, like, okay, now my mind is more organized, and now whatever I'm overthinking, I just attack.
Great press. I love anything about the mind, bro.
Yeah.
You start talking about the mind to me and the brain, neuroscience. There's the mind is separate from your brain.
Yeah, it is.
It's not your brain controlling your mind. It's your mind that controls your brain.
Yeah.
And your mind, as we know about the spirit, from what we learn in scripture, that's your spirit, right? Your mind is your emotions, your will, that's your soul. But then you have your spirit, which connects to God. And it's not your brain. Your brain is a different component. And so what you're describing is, you're saying, and you have on average about 70,000 thoughts a day.
Yeah.
Right?
That's crazy.
You have 60 to 75,000 thoughts a day. And there's a scripture, God says, take captive every thought.
I was literally about to say that.
And make it obedient to Christ.
Yeah.
Doesn't say some thoughts. So you have within you the ability, the God-given ability to capture every thought. And I love what you said about, I take my thought, I dissect it, I lay it out, and
Organize
I just
it.
organize it.
Right.
And that's, bro, that if that's one tip that can help so many people,
Yeah.
that's the tip.
Mm-hmm.
So let's run through that again.
Yeah.
So let's say you're feeling anxious.
Yeah.
In this moment. Okay. So what's the layout? What's the blueprint? How do you do it? Your heart begins to
it begins to
it's a putter, right?
Yeah.
You start to overthink too.
You overthink.
Yeah.
Okay. Now you have chemicals being released in your body.
Yeah.
Fight or flight, right? And so
Mhm.
now your heart rate increases.
Yeah.
And so your breathing gets shorter. Now how do you deal with that? What do you do?
So I guess you just sit there at first. You gotta understand, like, okay, there's a lot going on. And when you tend to overthink, that's when your mind starts to take control of you. And
Mhm.
that's when you gotta really just sit there and just, that's like you just jump into it. Like it's like, okay, I'm feeling this, and this.
Step 1, acknowledge what I'm going through.
Yeah.
Okay, boom. Step 2,
Step 2, that's when you start to actually gather yourself.
gather yourself. Okay.
That's when, like, everything's going on. Okay, like you look into each thing that you're feeling and pinpoint the positives and pick those out.
Mm-hmm.
Because in the end of the day, we all know positivity over negativity any day.
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, bro.
Yeah.
That plays a psychological effect too. Like
Yeah.
holding on to negativity all the time and always focusing on the negative and not focusing on the positive. It's like you can find positivity in anything.
Yeah.
Like
Right.
anything that's
That's
negative, you can turn it around for something positive.
Yeah.
Like Harpaul passing away. That's extremely negative. That's like
Yes.
the worst negative possible, someone dying.
Mm.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm not going to let that go in vain.
Yeah.
I'm going to make my life count.
Yeah.
I'm going to make, I don't know when my time's coming.
Mhm.
And I have people to make proud. I have people to lead right now. So
Yeah.
it's like you can find that and focus on it, like you said. And that kind of brings organizations, like, and sorting your thoughts. Like, all right, well, you have to allow yourself to feel it.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to feel it, acknowledge it, like you said. That's perfect. This step 1. And then it's like, okay, this is how I feel, but I got something to do now. Like, it's like, where's the positive and what do I have to do in response to the positive now?
That's powerful right there. And you can do that every single day. And in the moment when you're feeling anxiety hit you like a truck and you have to make a presentation or talk to someone. So now you have to gather yourself, be aware, and then even in that moment, try to find something positive.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go have this conversation with the person. I don't know what to say. And a lot of times you'll make up in your mind what the response is going to be, what you think they're going to say.
Right.
And it never happens. Like it's all in your
Right.
mind.
Yeah.
So be positive. Try to find something, and you can find something positive, like Ruben said, in almost every situation.
Yeah.
Gather yourself, be aware, find something positive, start to sort your thoughts out.
Yeah.
Take the delusional separate the real from the delusion. Like,
Yeah.
okay, you're overthinking it. And then what's the next step? Like, how do you,
That's when you just, like, as like a basketball
is that
term.
when the action
Yeah,
comes now?
That's when the action comes in. That's when it's like, okay, now I got to do everything in my power to make sure, like, this feeling doesn't bother me again. Just like when you're playing basketball, if you're being defended over and over again, the coach is going to try to find a way to break the defense down.
Mhm.
And that's when you can get to the point where you can actually, get things done. Put the ball in the basket, just
Bro,
like how
isn't
your thoughts will leave.
sports such a reflection of life, bro?
Yeah, it really
I
is.
even
love
the,
it.
Really
even the
is.
mind, like
I love
Yeah.
it, bro.
like the negative thoughts being like the opposition, like the opposite
Yeah.
team. It's like,
Right.
it's like you got to break that
What are you
down.
going to do
Yeah, you
about it?
gotta
Like,
break
you
it
have to score. What are you
Yeah.
going to do about
Right.
this negative thought?
Yeah.
This could help a lot of our bowlers, bro. I love it.
Yeah.
So now the
Yeah.
action step is like putting things in motion, getting the ball in the basket.
Yeah.
And so, and for each person, it's going to be individual because, anxiety is very real, but we're all unique in our expressions
Yeah.
of thought and how we process thoughts. Like what can be very stressful to you,
Mhm.
it's like nothing to me. Like I've seen hundreds of dead bodies, bro. I'm
Right. It's
good.
about what you go through.
Right? It's about what you go through, and
Yeah.
everyone is unique in how they process. So we don't want to underplay like someone's anxiety and their ability to deal with it, but the overall like way of like what you like just laid out can work in mostly every situation. That's good, bro. You should be a neuroscientist. So what are you in school for?
I'm actually doing biology right now.
Wow, look at that.
Wow, that's crazy.
Splicing the mind apart, bro. That's really
bro.
cool, bro.
It like talking about anxiety, it reminds me of a verse that actually got me through, like when I was feeling anxious about stuff.
Share that, bro.
So
we need it.
It's from Philippians chapter 4. I don't know the exact verse. I think it's 6. But it says, literally just says, don't be anxious about anything, but in everything, with thanksgiving, present your request to God. So it's like it kind of gives you a quick formula. Don't be anxious about anything, but in everything that you're going through, first it says, be thankful with thanksgiving, and then present your request to God. So it's like it reminds us, like, you might be anxious about this, but there's always something for you to be thankful for in that situation. And then out of that, God is always there for you, because it says present your request. Like, don't come to me. In other words, God, like, I feel like God telling me, like, I understand you're anxious, but don't even approach me like that. Give thanks, and then let me know I'm here for you. Let me know what it is that you need help with.
Isn't that so true? Like, God is giving you the formula.
Right.
Don't just come to me.
There's no self-help that can do that.
Yeah.
Bro, focus.
Right.
That scripture is basically what he described.
Right. Exactly.
All right, understand that, first of all, God is there. Right? He's willing to help you. We talked about a couple of weeks ago, we may feel like in our worst moment that he's not there, but God is always present.
Yeah.
He's always present, and he's always ready to help us. And boom. So we become self-aware, but I think a lot of times in our self-awareness, we kind of delete God.
Yeah. And that's the delusional thought.
That's the delusional.
That's the delusion.
He's not there. He can't help me.
He's not there.
He is there. He's very present. He's always present. You're breathing because he said you can breathe. Your heart is beating right now because he said so.
Yeah.
So we got to recognize in our awareness, all right, God, I don't understand this, but I know you're with me. Like, I know, and I think that's part of the grounding process.
Yeah.
I think it grounds you. And then you present your request to him, and then you find something to be thankful for, something positive, like Chan was saying. Bro, you got the formula, bro.
Yeah, thank you.
You got the formula, bro.
I think you can't even, I don't even think you'd be able to begin to even think about the formula unless you've been through something crazy. Like, you kind of just coast through life.
So true, bro. Until you get hit by a ton of bricks.
And then you get hit. You get hit with a train, and then you're like, dang. And then you got to figure it out. Yeah. Some people, unfortunately, they don't figure it out. Some people take their life. Some people, they get overwhelmed. They get depressed. They self-harm. They cut themselves. They just go in a deep hole. Drugs, alcohol, and they just waste their life because they can't. They didn't figure it out.
That's what we don't want.
You know.
So Chan, what do you say to? And I know you probably have some friends or people that maybe not close friends, but that are in that dark place. And if you were able to like get in their living room or tell them something, what do you tell that person who may be suicidal? You may have even gone through that. So what do you tell that person who's in a dark place where they're self-harming and they have that looping thought that keeps coming back to harm themselves?
So
man, what can you share?
Yeah, what I can say is it's like, in the end of the day, it's like you could be like that star of somebody's life. Like, you could be that light that they need, or, everybody loves you. Like, the world could be against you, but there'll be that one person that'll, like, show you that, I'm the world that you need. And so, it's like, there's no point of taking your life. You know what I mean? That's something that I don't think anybody should do, but, for people who have thoughts like that, or,
they
feel
matter.
like they're hated.
Someone loves it. Somebody out there. Like, God puts someone in your life that loves you.
Yeah, exactly. Like, your parents, or, if even friends. Sometimes friends become family, and
serious.
More
than family.
More than family.
Closer than blood sometimes, bro.
Yeah.
Of course.
I read something. It's like, let me see how it goes. Like, something like mud is thicker than blood, which means people from the outside world can be thicker than blood sometimes. Just like how blood is thicker than water.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
Mud
And-
is thicker than blood.
Never heard that before.
That's a new one.
Yeah.
And blood is thicker than water.
Yeah.
Interesting. Bro, so wow. I'm speechless right now. It's the mud thicker than blood. I know
Mud
what
is thicker than blood,
I didn't know where to go with that.
Yeah, that was the.
It's like
That's pretty deep, bro. We got to think about that.
Right?
Yeah.
So
Actually, he just had a
so
woke
profound,
moment.
bro.
Yeah. Like
Like,
before when I read it,
Wow.
when I read that
But I get
quote,
what they're saying.
yeah. When I read that quote at first, I was just like, well,
What are you
what
talking
does this
about,
mean? Like, bro?
Yeah.
like what am I reading? But then, I found out, like, obviously that, people that I met from outside, like
Mhm.
one of my friends, like his name is Joshua. He's doing good things now in the gym. He's about to go on his church mission soon.
Josh
Yeah, he's going to Brazil. So,
doing his thing.
I want to thank him. And, basically he became family to me.
Look at that.
Just
bro.
like a lot of other friends that,
That's mud is
I'm in
thicker than
school.
blood.
Yeah, it
See,
is.
now I got it now. It
Yeah.
it translated.
Yeah. I
You
haven't
guys-
spoke to
you
him in a
guys
while.
Are
actually.
mud.
Right.
Yeah.
You're mud.
Basically.
to me, man.
You're my mud.
You guys are all mud, bro.
Right.
I respect it.
We're all
Thank you.
mud.
I respect it, man.
Thank you
Let's
for the
go.
mud,
Thank you
bro.
for being my mud.
Gotcha, bro.
Wow.
Like
Yeah.
I haven't.
I'm gonna have to title a podcast "Mud is thicker than blood."
I think so.
That might be good, bro. That's a good like
Yeah.
It's a good one.
clickbait.
Yeah. Like I haven't talked to him in a while, but I know he's doing well. I checked on him,
Good,
just a
man.
few days ago.
Good, man.
Yeah.
And it's good to have positive people in your life.
Yeah.
And bro, we're just so glad that you're a part of Real Life.
Yeah.
And I know you're making moves. I know you might be moving to another
Yeah,
state,
yeah.
and that's all good.
Yeah.
We'll forgive you for that,
Dang.
bro.
I'm trying not to. I don't
We'll
wanna
forgive
go
you
there.
for that.
He left the mud,
It's all
guys.
good. It's all good. But we're proud of you, man. And
Thank you.
man, you've always been special. Your whole family, bro. You, your sister, your cousins.
Yeah.
There are certain students that when they walk into Real Life, you just know they're different.
Mm-hmm. And like the fact that we had a 2-year break, over 2-year break,
Right.
Yeah,
and on the
yeah.
first night you was back, like
Yeah, it's like
Nice.
That's
My
mud right there,
yeah.
bro.
My
That's
sister-
mud.
yeah. My
That's
sister
mud
got
and the
a
blood of
text.
Jesus, right? There's a mix. It's a mixture. It's a mixture.
My sister got a text and she was like, "Yo, we gotta go."
Yeah,
Like
man.
100%.
Guys.
I'm not missing out.
And we were gone for 2 years, man.
2
It
years,
was
yeah.
crazy. But man, you guys are so important to everything that we do here. You and your sister, and never a problem, like ever.
Yeah.
Always kind. Always
trying to help too.
always
Yeah.
helpful.
Yeah, yeah.
You know.
Always trying to jump in.
Yeah, man.
That's awesome, man.
We're going to miss you, bro.
Yeah.
Like you have no idea. We're gonna miss you a lot, and I know you're gonna visit us and pop in. So when does the move take place? Do we know?
So sometime in December, but
Okay.
I might catch
Gotcha.
you guys with like a little hook.
Copy.
I might
Copy.
not even go anywhere.
Copy.
so-
Copy. All right. Enough said.
Yeah,
Enough
yeah,
said.
We don't know what's gonna happen.
But just make sure you stay in touch, bro. Your family
Yeah, yeah.
is very special, and I know God has wherever He takes you, you're gonna be blessed, bro. Because you put Him first, and that's important. So, bro, we just thank you for being a part of this podcast, for being a part of the Real Life family, and I want to thank you personally for all the listeners that I know are gonna be helped
Yeah.
by your bravery, by your courage to be able to come out and just step up and do this and help tons of people deal with anxiety and bereavement. So we love you, bro. Thanks for
You
being a
guys too,
part of
man.
Real Life.
Yes, sir.
And we'll see you on the next podcast.
Peace out, Real Life.
All right, peace out.